I'm dying again inside. You've taken my dying breath. You will be the first. You will be the last.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Horror Heathen YouTube channel and the South Jersey Horror Podcast. We are wrapping it up this month for the March, not March, Jesus Christ, February. And as we're celebrating women in horror. So this is part seven, the final segment for the month of February. And it's such a sad way to end it up, but also a good way because I'm ending it with a very talented actress. So today we're talking to Charlotte Creaghan, who plays Aurora in the movie A Violent Nature. And yoga kills. That's all I'm gonna say when this comes to this when it comes to this kind of scene. Um, so for a quick reminder about what this movie is about, if you haven't seen it, too bad. You can hear the introduction anyway. So when a locket is removed from a collapsed fire tower in the woods that entombs the rotting corpse of Johnny, a vengeful spirit spurred on a horrific 70-year-old crime spree. Jesus Christ. This guy's got one hell of a grudge. Um, his body is resurrected and becomes hellbent on retrieving the locket. So essentially what the movie's about is him chasing people around, killing people over a locket. Guy needs a new hobby. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, without further ado, let me reel my guest in and let's talk to Charlotte. Thank you so much for joining me today. How the hell are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
The honor and pleasure is all mine. You look fantastic. So this movie, really good movie in my opinion. I loved it very much, but your death scene in the movie is what captivated me the most. So, it was a horrific death scene, and I'm sorry they had to go that way in the movie. So if you could please tell the audience a little bit about yourself and how you got into acting.
Yeah, I kind of, for as long as I can remember, wanted to be an actor. I've always loved like playing imaginary games and been very curious. So that kind of, I think I just like wanted to hold on to that part of childhood a lot. And a way to do that was to do it kind of like professionally. And so yeah, that's how it started. And um I lived in New York for a while and studied acting and then moved back to Canada I guess like four years ago now. And yeah, I got an agent and have been working, yeah, I guess on and off ever since.
That's fantastic to hear. I love it when actors find work. Whatever it is, I'm sure that it's lucrative and it's worth your time. So, Canada, what's it like Canada? I haven't been to Canada in like 30 years. What's it like in Canada now these days?
I feel like people have this idea that it's very cold and snowy, like especially in the States, which it can be. But usually like for the past few years, it's been like pretty mild. Like I guess like in Toronto at least, it's similar temperature, maybe a little colder than New York, but for the past couple of weeks here, it's been insane. I feel like I'm in a winter wonderland. And the city like does not know how to cope with this kind of snow. So it's just complete chaos. So that's what it's been like, at least for the past couple weeks here. Um, yeah, and in terms of like Canada, um, like the film industry, um, it's obviously not as prominent as in the States. So having this film kind of get a wide release like this, it's very rare for a Canadian film to get a wide release in the States. So it's super special that that it's had the the audience and the viewings it's had.
I can imagine so, especially Toronto. I mean, very, very packed city and high population. But like I said before, it's a really good movie. I'm hoping they make a sequel and bring everyone back the way they were before, but who knows?
Mhm.
I would like to see a sequel anyway. So, how did you hear about the role and what inspired you to audition for Aurora?
I just got the email about it from my agents, and I think that they had kind of people read for different roles. So I read for, I guess, the two female roles,
Okay.
and I guess they thought, I was better fit for Aurora, and yeah, I auditioned, I think, a couple times, and this was all during COVID, so it was like self-tapes and Zoom. And yeah, I just got kind of like the scene where we're at the water, like on the dock, that whole flirtatious scene with Brody. So that was my audition scene. And then we did like a Zoom callback. And then yeah, I didn't read the script until after I was offered the role.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice,
Yeah.
nice, very cool, very cool.
Yeah.
So, if you could say, so your character Aurora, if you could describe her on what her personality is like and how you connected with her, how was that made possible with you?
Um, I I guess the character is pretty, there's so much in the script, there's not so much information about her in terms of like her background and like obviously like where she comes from, like, there's just very little indicators of that. So then you kind of just have to make up a lot of stuff. Um, but yeah, I thought she was, I mean, a fun character to play. She can definitely be a little annoying at times, but I mean, I liked her. I had a lot of fun playing her. They were supposed to be like college age, so they're all trying to like figure out who they are, and she's that's such an age where you develop like these strong opinions, and you think you're so right about these things. So I found a lot of that in her and her very like new age approach to things and calling people out and um yeah, having being pretty opinionated about certain topics, which could definitely throw people off, but it was also, in that little scene, there was a lot of expression of that. Yeah. Yeah.
I love the expression. I love it. So,
Yeah.
so your kill scene,
Yeah.
in my opinion, is the most memorable kill scene throughout the entire movie. I mean, how was that prepared for? I mean, special effects, the blood, the rehearsing. What did you have to go through? Was there anything challenging about that?
Um, I really went in pretty blind. We had to do the prosthetics, which was one of the most interesting parts about it because you were I had to get like the full plaster on me, and that took like 8 hours, but it was a really cool, actually calming experience. It kind of felt like I was underwater, um, or like getting a spa treatment. So that was very cool and unexpected. And yeah, there were no rehearsals or anything like that. So we just kind of did it the day of. And really most of that was like the makeup people. They were the whole makeup team. They were amazing, and watching them, create the hole and the hook in the stomach and all of the blood and how that all came to be and came together was I was very in awe of that whole team. And it was all shot in very like short little shots, so it was very technical. And the audience will have their own. There are a lot of inter interpretations, I guess, or a lot of different opinions on on that specific scene. Um, I kind of viewed it as if, like, as I said earlier, Aurora is pretty headstrong, opinionated, um, a little bit fierce. So during that scene, she was just kind of with the yoga and everything, she was just finally getting her piece almost is what I felt like. She accepts it pretty early on, what's happening. When she gets to that the cliff, she realizes that there's not really much she can do. And yeah, it's kind of peaceful in a very weird way.
So after reading the scripts, knowing that you were going to die, personally, how did you feel about that?
Knowing that I was gonna die,
How did that make you feel?
I was super excited. I was like psyched. Yeah. I mean, I read the scene and I think like most people when or not most people, but some people when they watched it, they kind of had a reaction of laughter, and that's kind of how I felt reading it because everything was in the script that you see on screen. So my first reaction was sort of laughter and kind of like, I can't believe I'm gonna be doing this. And then I felt, this could be a once in a lifetime experience to be able to die on screen, especially in this way. So yeah, I was psyched to be able to do it.
Okay, just for the record, you were the very first person to tell me that, being excited about dying. Because everyone else I talked to, they were sad about the character dying in the movie. So
Yeah.
you you are a South Jersey horror podcast first.
Okay.
So that was not the answer I was expecting, but it's a really good answer. So so you're the very
Yeah.
first person to be excited about it, which is cool. I mean, it was a really good death scene. I mean,
Yeah.
the best death scene in the entire movie. I may get a lot of
Yeah.
hate for that, but I don't care. But it was a really good death scene. I mean, it's not every day you see the victim's head get pulled through his stomach. I'm just saying. I mean,
It's not. Yeah.
it reminded me a lot of Friday the 13th, which is great. I mean, it's like a like a Jason Voorhees kill. So it's definitely in there with like my top 100 top 100 favorite kills. So it's there. So the challenges you already expressed the challenge of the whole your death scene. Were there any other like challenges that were like hard for you that you had to face like during the film, like mentally and physically?
It was all pretty fun. I mean, it was also new to me. I had never done a slasher. I had never I, been I've never filmed in nature that way, like, having to deal with the elements and being outside all the time filming. So I was honestly just trying to be like as present as possible so I could soak it all up. And I think for the crew and Chris Nash, the director, I think it was hardest on them in terms of logistically trying to film some of those scenes because, like I said, we were filming in the woods, so we had a lot of, whether it was weather or just like, it didn't, it had to be very specific lighting for some of the scenes, and so I think that there were a lot of problems that came up for the crew and the production team and everything that made it very challenging for them filming outside. But as an actor, I was just trying to, do the best that I could, and I was just along for the ride. Yeah.
Well, you definitely delivered your role to a T. So
Thank
very
you.
good job. Pat yourself on the back. Give yourself a high five because you did
Thanks.
it.
Yeah, thank you.
It's funny how I spoke to Ry Barrett about a year ago about this role too, about playing Johnny, and he said it was all the walking was tiring. So
Yeah, oh yeah. And he was in a
yeah,
mask the whole time, and um yeah, it was just like sweating underneath that. Yeah.
yeah.
That was
He
tough
said
for him.
he also told me he had to they had to reshoot like 2 or 3 times. Like so
Um,
yeah, I mean I can imagine that being very tiring, especially walking in the woods, not knowing where you're going unless like the path is like already like pre-laid out for the actors, I guess. I don't know.
yeah.
Take all the hazards and stuff like that away. Yeah. So
Mhm. Yeah, he had such a physically demanding role.
so what do you think sets apart your kill scene from the others?
I mean, I think it- it's the longest one, and I guess Johnny's really indulging the most with this one. He's really indulging in it and really uh, taking his time with it. So yeah, I guess, and right off the bat, just the length of the kill and all of the different steps, you know.
So my next question is why you? You didn't do anything wrong. You were just at the wrong place at the wrong time. I mean,
Yeah,
so,
that's a good question. I think that's
so
for Chris Nash. I wonder if it was because, I don't know. It could be because I had thought about like maybe it's because she represents a lot of different parts of our culture that can be problematic, or I had thought about it and that way maybe she's just kind of annoying.
you,
Um,
you can't kill somebody off just being annoying. I mean,
I
it's
know, I don't
there's
know.
there's always at least one annoying character in a horror movie, and they always kill that person off. But you were just
Yeah,
minding your own business, doing
yeah,
yoga on a cliff. Why kill you? I don't understand why. You just doing your thing, and all of a sudden, Johnny wants to come kill you. I'm like, I don't know what his preordained thoughts were at the time, but it's just
yeah,
she's doing the downward dog the correct way, so I need to kill her.
yeah,
I don't know.
yes.
Oh wow. So yeah, your character was I don't know why they chose you to have the most brutal death scene, but it was phenomenal. I mean, I think that's what gave the movie its top stars. Um, so every movie has a message, and every director wants to give a message during a movie. And what do you think the message the director was trying to convey for this movie?
No, if there was a message, to be honest. I mean, that again is a question for Chris Nash, and he's never expressed that to me. So I mean, I've thought about it and have my own theories, but probably the audience has more interesting theories than I do. But yeah, I
So
think ultimately, I guess that's I guess that's a question for Chris Nash. I don't know.
well, I'd love to hear your theory about it. Please tell me if you can, if you want to.
If what? Oh,
Yeah. Your theories, yeah.
okay. Well, when I first read the script, like all of the walking parts were in it. Like it would illustrate that, or the script illustrated, Johnny's walking through the woods, walking through a flower field. You hear the sound of leaves like crunching below his feet. So that was all very detailed in the script. So I kind of thought when I had first read it and saw, the first time I kind of watched it, like especially with Johnny walking, and it's sort of this kind of serene yet violent film and script, I kind of felt like Johnny was a representation of nature, and nature was getting its revenge on these annoying people who are ruining the planet. That's kind of how I first interpreted it, but who knows?
No, that's a very well thought out interpretation. I like it. I mean, I was just gonna go with don't take what's yours
Yeah,
or don't take what's
true.
not yours. I mean, don't
Don't
take stuff
steal.
that's not yours.
Yeah.
So that was my interpretation. Like I say, they
Yeah.
stole these locket, they stole a locket. Now I have to kill these guys. But
Yeah.
as asked before, why you? Why everyone else? I mean,
Yeah.
just the one person stole the locket. That was it. Not the entire crew. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you were doing it the incorrect way. That's why you got mad at you. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe that was like Johnny's cliff. Maybe that was
I don't
his
know.
domain.
There could be many theories why, and I'm gonna reach out to the director and find out why, just because. So,
Yeah.
well, that's all the questions I have for you. You've been great. So, what's next for you? What's coming up? Anything exciting coming up for you?
There's just the beginnings of a couple things right now. So nothing I can really talk about, I guess. So unfortunately, that's like not a very exciting answer, but that's
No,
the case.
I get that a lot. It's okay. I'm used to it. So,
Okay.
NDAs can be a mother humper. I get it. You can't say a damn word about anything. I get it.
Yeah.
So, you've been a wonderful guest. Like again, thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate you taking the time out. Um, I wish you nothing but success in your future in your acting career, and I would like to see you in a lot more movies.
Hey, thank you so much. And thank you for taking the time to uh have me on here.
The honor and pleasure is all mine. So again, thank you so much, and I will see you on the big screen.
Okay.